Long form 2. Long form 2. Attention, meditating horse, back up to attention. Execute the full greeting. Step back to a meditating horse. Step in with your right foot to 12 o'clock into a right neutral bow with a right inward block. Deliver a right outward chop. Pivot into a forward bow with a left heel palm. Pivot back to a neutral bow with a right spear hand. Step forward with your left foot into a left neutral bow with a left inward block. Execute a left outward chop. Pivot into a forward bow with a right heel palm. Pivot back to a neutral bow with a left spear hand. Draw your left foot to a cat stance as you chamber on your right hip. Step to 9 o'clock into a left neutral bow. Execute a left outward vertical block with a right punch to the midsection. Deliver a left punch to your opponent's face. Right punch to your opponent's solar plexus. Execute a left snapping knife edge kick to your opponent's shin with a left vertical punch. Land with your left foot to 9 o'clock in a horse stance as you chamber on your left hip. Draw your right foot to a cat stance. Step to 3 o'clock into a right neutral bow. Deliver a right outward vertical block with a left punch to your opponent's midsection. Execute a right punch to the face, a left punch to the midsection. Deliver a right snapping knife edge to your opponent's shin with a right vertical punch. Land with your right foot to 3 o'clock in a horse stance, your hands chambered on your right hip. Step with your left foot into a rear twist stance toward 6 o'clock. Unwind into a neutral bow with a universal block. That's a right inward block, left downward block. Pivot into a forward bow with a left upward block and a right underhand rolling hammer fist to the groin. Pivot into a neutral bow with a left heel palm claw to the face. Deliver a right back knuckle, a left back knuckle, and another right back knuckle. Chamber both hands on your left hip. Step with your right foot to a transitional rear twist stance toward 12 o'clock. Unwind into a neutral bow with a universal block. That's a right downward block and a left inward block. Pivot into a forward bow as you execute a right upward block and a left underhand rolling hammer fist to the groin. Pivot back to a neutral bow with a right heel palm claw to the face. Deliver a left back knuckle, a right back knuckle, and a left back knuckle. Step with your right foot toward 10:30 as you pivot into a left neutral bow to 4:30 with a left downward block. Execute a left overhead looping back knuckle to your opponent's temple. Pivot into a forward bow with a right horizontal thrusting punch. Deliver a right front ball kick to your opponent's groin with a left punch. Land forward with a right vertical punch to your opponent's midsection. Chamber on your left hip as you draw your right foot back to a transitional cat stance. Step in with your right foot to 7:30 into a right neutral bow with a right downward block. Execute a right overhead looping back knuckle. Pivot into a forward bow with a left horizontal thrusting punch. Deliver a left front ball kick to your opponent's groin with a right horizontal punch. Land forward with your left foot with a left vertical punch to your opponent's midsection. Execute a left front crossover toward 130 with a left overhead looping punch. Step through into a right neutral bow with a right uplifting forearm strike underneath your opponent's chin. Pivot into a forward bow with a left vertical two-finger eye poke. Stay in your forward bow with a right vertical two-finger eye poke and another left vertical two-finger eye poke. Step with your right foot toward 10:30 into a twist stance as you execute a right overhead looping punch. Step through with your left foot into a left neutral bow as you execute an uplifting forearm strike underneath your opponent's chin. Pivot into a forward bow with a right vertical two-finger eye poke. Stay in your forward bow with a left vertical two-finger eye poke and another right vertical two-finger eye poke. Step back with your left foot into a twist stance as you execute a left inward downward palm up block. Pivot into a neutral bow with a right vertical punch. Step back with your right foot into a twist stance as you execute a right inward downward palm up block. Pivot into a left neutral bow with a left vertical punch. Step back with your right foot to 7:30 so you're in a left neutral bow facing 130 with a left inward downward palm down block, and immediately deliver a left outward back knuckle strike. Step back with your left foot to 7:30, pivot into a right neutral bow facing 130 with a right inward downward palm down block, and immediately execute a right outward back knuckle. Facing 130, pivot into a right forward bow as you execute a left push-down palm block. Step through to 130 with your left foot as you execute a left outward overhead elbow followed by a left outward overhead heel palm. Pivot into a left forward bow facing 130 with a right push-down palm block. Step forward with your right foot and execute a right outward overhead elbow followed by a right outward overhead heel palm. Pivot into a right forward bow with a left push-down palm block. Step through to 130 with your left foot as you execute a left outward overhead elbow followed by a left outward overhead heel palm. Pivot into a forward bow with a right horizontal thrusting punch. Pivot into a neutral bow with a left inward overhead elbow to your opponent's skull or neck. Deliver a left inward vertical forearm strike to your opponent's right side of his face. Grab his hair. Step back with your left foot into a twist stance. Unwind and pivot into a right neutral bow with a right inward overhead elbow to the back of your opponent's skull or neck. Deliver a right inward vertical forearm strike to the left side of his face. Grab his hair. Step back with your right foot towards 730 into a twist stance. Unwind into a neutral bow with a left inward overhead elbow strike to the back of your opponent's skull or neck. Deliver a left inward vertical forearm strike to your opponent's right side of his face. Grab his hair. Take your left foot and step back to a transitional twist stance as you step toward 9 o'clock. Unwind in a horse stance as you execute an elbow smash. Deliver 2 outward elbow strikes, still in your horse stance. A left upward elbow and a right back elbow. Go to a meditating horse. Left foot comes towards your right in tension stance. Execute the full salutation. Bow. Long form 2. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you found it entertaining, educational, and perhaps useful. We have more videos, more content every week. Please give a like, a subscribe, and ring that bell.